Alright, we're going to demonstrate how to calibrate the gap plate actuator on the Cubemaster 300i. First thing is I'm going to go to the maintenance menu and then calibrate linear actuators. And then I can calibrate these different actuators. We want to do the gap plate. So the reason you're going to ever calibrate is if your position seems off for some reason for the gap plate, or if you've replaced that actuator with a new actuator, you're going to want to go through the calibration procedure to get it accurate, to get it to go to an accurate position. So I'm going to go to manual mode, and then you're going to see our jog up and jog down buttons of that axis, and you can play with those and make sure it's doing what you want it to do. It's jogging up and it's jogging down right now. Make sure that's the case before you start this procedure, especially if you just installed a new actuator. But I'm going to go ahead and start the calibration with the push button. Make sure you remove change parts prior to beginning the calibration. We've already done that. Move the lift plate and move the pusher plate. And then next is confirm you want to start. Push the button again, confirm. Now it's asking you to jog the axis up until it stops. One thing to note here while you're doing this, you'll see the gap plate assembly jogging up. But you also want to make sure that your pusher plate assembly is not pushed out past the point where the gap plate will interfere with it. While you're doing this, if your pusher plate is pushed out a little bit too far, you're going to interfere while you're manually jogging the gap plate up. It's going to cause a bind and an interference. So make sure that pusher plate is pulled back far enough. There we go, I went all the way up until the axis stopped. You'll see this prox is just up to hit the pusher plate assembly, but not quite, so that's okay. So next step to do is to unlock the machine, and you'll see the text right here describing what you need to do is measure the distance from the bottom of the buffer plate to the top of the gap plate. So we're going to do that now. So I open the change part door, and first thing you want is your buffer plate is sitting right here. You want to extend that buffer plate out if it's retracted. Right now it's extended, but if it were to be retracted right here, I'm just going to grab a hold and I'm going to extend it out, and we're going to use that as a position to take our measurement from. So the buffer plate's extended out, and then we want to measure from the bottom surface of this buffer plate that we just pulled out to the top surface of the gap plate. So that's this top edge right here. That's what we're interested in. So I butt up the tape measure to the bottom of the buffer plate, and then I'm looking right here to the top edge of our gap plate, and that's about 208, 209 millimeters. So that's what I'm looking for. Took the measurement, and this is the top position. 208 and 209, that agrees with our range. 200 to 250, that's kind of a double check to make sure you did the measurement correctly. So 209. Okay, now we want to jog the gap plate down until the home prox turns on. You can see the text change there. So I want to close up the machine. Turn on control current, and then I get my jog buttons again. I want to jog down until the home prox turns on. So you can observe the home prox on the other side of this machine. If you have someone watching who's helping you do this on the other side of the machine, you'll see the axis is going to go all the way down, and on the other side is a barrel home prox looking for a flag. Okay, so that's all the way down. If we were to go to the other side, we would see that prox turned on. Okay, so again, it's the same measurement we want to take. Measure the distance from the bottom of the buffer plate to the top of the gap plate. So we unlock the machine. And we do that same measurement. This time, we're looking closer to, I'd say 499 millimeters. Okay, so now we have this bottom position numeric input box, and the range is 450 to 520, so 499 is probably a good measurement. I enter that, and calibration complete. So that's everything you need to know to calibrate the gap plate actuator. Thank you for watching.